What's up? It's Marco, Sage of Soccer, and Japan just beat Spain 2-1 to qualify for the knockout round. Spain qualified as well, but man, this is such a good performance by Japan, such a resolute game because in the first half it was all Spain. Spain had, I think it was 77% of the possession, and a good amount of that was in contest. Just dominated the game completely. Morata picked up a goal. That's 3 goals in 3 games for him. But then in the second half, Japan came out with a ton of energy. Mitma and Doan came on. Mitma pressured Simon into making a bad pass, and then Doan just came up with a goal. Simon probably could have done better, but that was the equalizer. And then again, Mitma got on the end of a cross, put it back into the field. Tanaka hit it home, and just after all that, then Spain had to go on the attack. Japan went defensive. I can't even talk. That was such a crazy game. Just great work by Japan in those little bit of time. They had I think 15 minutes where they had maybe 25 where they were the better team and got 2 goals from it. They were just really pressuring Spain, forcing them into some mistakes. Towards the end of the game, they put on a Tomiyasu. I think he's just still not healthy yet, but he gave them 20 minutes, and after that, Spain went completely on the attack, but they were able to hold out. I think it was actually the right decision. Unlike the United States against Iran, where they went defensively, or Iran, they went defensively and put Iran in a position where they could really attack the U.S. I think Japan, they really couldn't go head-to-head with Spain. It was probably the right idea to get them as much defensive talent on the field as possible. And Tomiyasu did do a good job, so hopefully he'll be healthy enough to start, because they've got Croatia in the knockout round. And man, they have been doing so well. It's such great attacking play. You've got, Duan and Mitma came off the bench. They started Ito. You had Kubo playing well. Man, they didn't even bring on Minamino. There's such a great attacking talent in this Japan team. They have to be, at least contenders in that game against Croatia. Then you got Spain. And they have a game against Morocco, and a little bit of a cynical part of me is they kind of knew there was the Morocco game coming up. You have to wonder, did they? No, I don't think so. They had to try throughout that entire game. They were pushing for the equalizer till the end. They looked good in the first half, really good. I mentioned that Morata goal. They were making some chances happen. They did have one mistake with Busquets with an errant pass, but that's it. I think in the second half, though, Unai Simon, he failed to make that save. It was a savable shot. He put Baldi into a bad position, which led to Japan getting the ball. Then he probably should have saved that Dewan shot. And you have to wonder, David De Gea exists, but I think De Gea is too bad with his feet and just too erratic. But Simon, pretty bad there. Couldn't really do much about the second goal, which, honestly, that might have been even if it was out of bounds, which it kind of looked like it was. Japan just had so much pressure on Spain to start the second half. I think it was going to come anyway. Just bad performance there. The subs couldn't make anything happen. I was expecting more from an Asensio, Fati. They just couldn't make anything happen. Despite that, it was a really good first half. Javi was looking really good on the ball. Morata picked up the goal. I don't even think the center backs from Spain had a bad game. I think Rodri and Torres were doing well. Torres was giving the ball away a good amount. I think Laporte should come back into the starting lineup for him. But overall, it was a pretty good game by Spain, except for those 25 minutes where Japan got the better of them. Thankfully for them, they have a good chance to reset against Morocco, which is an easier game than Croatia, but Morocco's going to give them a big challenge as well. I'll get into that a bit later. Then we had Germany beat Costa Rica 4-2. Didn't get to see that game. But Germany, just a disappointing World Cup. That loss to Japan really hurt them, just blowing it towards the end of that game. They were up early, and similar to Spain, couldn't hold on to the lead. That's really disappointing. They couldn't get the win against Spain. And against Costa Rica, you have to figure they knew going into that game, they had to win by, I guess, 8 goals in order to get the better of Spain. That was probably their intention going into the game, just to dominate completely, but they were down for a little bit. Costa Rica pulled back a 2-1 lead, and for a second it was looking like Japan and Costa Rica were going to advance. And I think Costa Rica definitely redeemed themselves after that huge loss to Spain. Like, they definitely showed that they belonged at the World Cup, but yeah, they weren't going to win this one. Germany just disappointing there. I saw they started Kimmich at right back, which I mentioned they can do in a worst case scenario, but I wasn't expecting it to happen. They probably had as much talent on the field as they possibly could. Maybe that was the goal, but yeah, just bad tournament from Germany. Honestly, just the loss to Spain was the only bad thing. Or loss to Japan, sorry. Like, that was it, and it ended up costing them the entire tournament. But in the end, Japan wins the group in it might have been a group of death looking back on it. I mean, Spain and Germany, still great sides. Uh, Germany, they looking towards the future, like, Musiala, like, obviously he's a great player. You still have Kimmich, you still have Goretzka, who are probably going to be good for a good bit longer. Sula, Rudiger, they still have it. Rom is still good. You're going to get Klosterman back. He's been injury prone for a while, so you can't say for sure. I think you're probably going to see Ter Stegen coming from Neuer. I saw Neuer made one really good save, but I think it's probably Ter Stegen's time now. And yeah, it's probably on to the next generation for Germany. Get to see Musiala, Makuaku. Like, it's going to be fun to watch them moving forward, but I think the core of group of players who helped win the World Cup is going to be it for them now. But yeah, Japan, Spain, really good results. Japan have that game against Croatia. Croatia's defense has looked a little bit vulnerable at times, but man, I'm really sold on Carvajal, God, masked man. I could say it after I just watched him, and have to get used to his name because he's going to be a top player in the world for a long time. Then, obviously, a great midfield. We'll have to see how Croatia are able to match up. I think Croatia goes in that game favorites, but man, Japan, they've been excelling. Spain as well, honestly, probably the best result for them, getting Morocco in the knockout round. And, they are definitely the favorites heading into the game. Morocco, they have been very good this tournament, but when you look at it, like, they drew Croatia, they beat Belgium, and Belgium looked terrible this entire tournament, and then they beat Canada. So I think that Spain are probably the favorites. They should be able to get most of the ball. Hopefully their defense is going to be a bit better, but I think Spain's probably the favorites in that one. Croatia, they're the favorites as well, but Japan, I think they have the better chance of making that upset, and it's hard to bet against Japan at this point. And yeah, that's it for the group. Really fun to see Japan have a great performance. Spain still look like Spain with they're still a tiki-taka side. And Germany, really disappointing there. Costa Rica gave the best fight that they could, in my opinion. Yeah, it was a really fun group, and that's all I got to talk about. See you.